Killboy. Killboy here with the weekly 12 Minutes in Paradise on the world famous Tail of the Dragon at Deals Gap, North Carolina, Tennessee, Highway 129. Chaos and lawlessness. Also known as the cotton ball. There was some newspaper articles or news crews came out interviewing people. Of course, when there was an accident or something bad happened, that's the only time we see the local news crews, seems like. But they were interviewing somebody, and they said, why do you come here? And they said, well, if it was something easy, people called it the cotton ball instead of the dragon, nobody would come. It's kind of funny, so we started calling it the cotton ball. The chaos and lawlessness thing is kind of an inside joke too. Well, just as a result of another one of those interviews or quote unquote news pieces where they interviewed some concerned citizen, and they were saying how they never came out here because it's just pure chaos and lawlessness. Like, yeah, I hate to see what they would do, think about. Traffic in more frenetic places like, say Atlanta or any big city, really, I guess. If you're used to country back roads around here, and then you go to a place where there's some real traffic activity, it does seem pretty chaotic. It's just what you're used to, I suppose. We kind of laugh about it. So yeah, it's Saturday, 2:30 p.m., not a.m. Freaking awesome weather today. It's been sort of rainy for the past few days. Nothing serious, but just a little bit of rain here and there that was enough to kind of slow things down pretty hard out here. But today's awesome. It's like high 70s, low 80s maybe, breezy, cloudy. I had on a long sleeve shirt for the first time in several months because it was actually kind of brisk earlier. Tonight's supposed to be pretty nice, a little bit cool. I think it's supposed to get down in the mid-50s. Of course, that's the low happens real late at night. So you're gonna have 50 racing tonight again at the Deals Gap Resort. Should be really good weather. It hasn't rained. It was pointed out to me yesterday by MG, actually, in Jana, that it really hasn't rained all year on the 50 races. They race every other weekend, more or less, and it goes on from about 8 p.m. till 10 or 11, and they haven't had any rain yet. So, as Jana said, God loves 50 racing. Clearly. chaos and lawlessness on the Cotton Ball. New York plates. Police, when I came in, I'm about, first of all, let's establish location here. I'm about 1 mile north of the North Carolina, Tennessee. Jeez. That's why they call them drag pipes, right? Nice.
What's going on, baby?
I'm about a mile north of the border. I'm on the Tennessee side today. Yeah, there was a state trooper down in the straightaway, kind of typical location near the state line. There's some straight sections down through there that are easy to get a little carried away with speed. Nobody ever wrecks there, so it's kind of ironic that it's a hot spot for the police, but it's not really keeping too many people from wrecking. I'd like to see them hang out in the places where people actually need to kind of slow down, gravity cavity and stuff like that, where there aren't going to be many speeding tickets written, but it would do a lot more instant benefit to safety if people would slow down. But maybe there's more long-term effect from writing tickets and everything and getting people kind of talking about that. Yeah, there was a state trooper down there when I came in. He was just hanging out on the side of the road, standing outside the car. I've seen him before. He seems to be a pretty reasonable guy. And then a sheriff went in an unmarked SUV a little while later, and then they both came back out. There's nobody down there now. I'm sure they're around here somewhere. It's kind of a dead end for those guys, being the state line and all, so when they go in and travel to the left on the camera there, they've got to come back out, eventually. Poor guy's front. Spoiler, I guess. I'm not. That little piece that hangs down underneath the front bumper on the Corvettes and a few other cars, and I guess it kind of directs air up into the cooling radiators and stuff like that. It's about falling off of that car or something. It's dragging a lot, especially when he lets off the brakes or goes through this dip turn right in front of the camera here. Sounds kind of crazy coming towards you. It sounds like some kind of supercharger or something, but it's just that plastic dragon. Ontario. 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 Woo! All three of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bikes. A couple of motards there too. They're ready to play. Yeah, it's kind of, to see people like that come in from so far away. They make those long trips, and they'll, just for this 11-mile section of road, pretty much. I mean, they'll go to some of the other roads around here, but we all know this is the reason that people come to this area. They gotta hit this road. It's pretty flattering. I think a lot of the locals don't really understand how popular this road is, how famous it is, and kind of take it for granted. Local non-enthusiasts, I should say. I like to see a little more, of course, you know, having a business established with this road, I'd like to see a little more, you know, friendliness towards the tourists and everything. But I'm biased, obviously. But I think you get that a lot in any place you go. There's sort of this animosity towards tourists, and sometimes it's hard not to be a little frustrated with them. But I remind myself I like to travel too, so that makes me a tourist when, you know, when I'm not in my hometown, just like everybody else. And how would you like to be? You know, how would you like to be shunned as a visitor just because you weren't from around there? You know, I don't like to see that happening around here to the people who are visiting our area. So kind of keep that in mind if you're a local. Try to not be so, I don't know, anti-tourism or whatever, I guess. But I know I can't reach everybody, or some people won't listen. You know, that's just nature. And then at the same time, if you're a tourist, you know, try to consider your impact on the locals and everything. You know, doing stuff like stopping in the road, take pictures, and creating a hazardous scene. It's just like a typical, you know, kind of a bonehead thing to do, and just think about your actions and trying to coexist without causing problems when you visit other places. Be considerate. Well, I'm over 12 minutes. Didn't really talk about anything specific, but hope you enjoyed the show. And visit killboy.com for your dragon photos and their weekly highlights photos. And we'll see you next week.